Hey there, I am checking out Sunless Sea, which I got for free on the Epic Games Store a while back. I have never played it before. I wanted to check it out. So, I think I have gotten everything set up the way I want it to, in terms of video settings and all. And I guess I'm just going to start a new game. I got a message at the start that said something like, "You're probably gonna die the first time you play this. Just letting you know." Yes, start a new game. You can launch an attack before you have complete firing solution, but you may miss. Is it loading? I think this is a loading screen. Here we go. Captain's making. 3 decades ago, in the reign of Victoria, London was stolen by bats. Now it lies a mile below the surface. It was dreadfully inconvenient for everyone, but it opened a vast black ocean to you. Welcome to the Untersee. Decide who you were and what you want to be. If you just want to get out to Z immediately, choose this. Opportunities to revisit your past will arrive later. Well, let's choose my past first. You now lodge in a room above the blind helmsman. Now you're a captain. Now you belong to the Untersee. But who were you before? A street urchin, a poet, a veteran of the campaign of '68, an ordained priest, a natural philosopher. An ordained priest. You fell from grace. There is nothing left ashore for you. An anonymous benefactor has found this way out for you. Perhaps at Z you can overcome your appetites. This will give you a bonus to hearts, the skill of healing, and morale. Well, let's do that. You know an engineer who doesn't have much time left. She'd like to die at sea. Talk to her to find out if she'd like to die anywhere in particular. What? Do I select something? What does winning mean to you? Your father's bones, fulfillment, wealth, or a private kingdom which is locked? Your father was lost at Z. You never knew him, but you've often dreamed of him. Find and return his remains to London for a decent burial. My old father. I wonder what happened to him. He was lost at Z, apparently. Full fathom 5. Find where he fell and bring him home. When you've found your father's bones, you can retire to victory. Explore fallen London to find your first clue. An occurrence, your objective, ambition, quality, is now find your father's bones and then retire. I don't know what any of that means. Those words mean nothing to me. The last scrap of paperwork. Captain, an irregularity with the Harbour Master's office. They wish to know, what term of address do you prefer ashore? This will determine what people call your captain, but your captain's gender is up to you. Captain will do perfectly well ashore as well as sea, thank you. Captain it is. A last piece of advice. Explore. Take chances. This captain will probably die. The Z is hungry, but each captain passes on lessons to the next. That is what it said to me before. This captain will probably die. Wow. Choose my name. And I guess my portrait. That's my portrait. My name is Bartholomew. How do you spell Bartholomew? Bartholomew? Bartholomew, whatever. Your father's bones, a cold trail. Your father, lost at sea so very long ago. The trail was cold, but now you have a lead. This cadaverous and sinister prelate interviewed you in person just before you were cast out of the priesthood. He seemed surprisingly sympathetic. After what happened with your father, he said, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. What did he mean? I don't know. The bishop's face is stern and shadowed. I do not condone what you have done, he says, but many of us have, what shall I say, eccentric appetites. Yes, I will assist you, but you must help me satisfy one of my own cravings. Dark drop coffee is difficult to find in London. Bring me, let us say 2 sacks of beans. Bring me this, and I shall share with you what I know. You can find dark drop coffee in Port Carnelian and Adams Way along the coast to the south, and sometimes other places. Return with 2 sacks to learn more from the bishop. Okay. Fallen London. Deep, dark, and marvelous. All voyages start here, and this is where successful voyages end. The font is slightly blurry. I have it scaled up, and it's blurred. The scaling process has blurred the font, and I don't like it very much. Okay, what do I do now? I don't know what to click upon now. This is my logbook, I guess? Story? Hold? Oh, my ship's hold. Journal. Memoirs, objective. Officers. Ooh, the chief engineer, the gall-eyed engineer. Her eyes will hatch soon, but until then she wants to work. Our mascot is a comatose ferret. Mostly it's immobile, occasionally it's feral. I have no first officer, cook, gunnery officer, or surgeon. The shops, Mrs. Plenty, shipside provisioners. I don't know what anything means. I like the aesthetic of this game. I like this sort of Victorian sort of aesthetic. I just don't know what to do. Is it time for me to close this now? Tutorial. Wait, there's a tutorial here. Your objectives and story progress are on the right-hand side. Mouse over an icon or click on the category heading to see details. Your officers. Left-click and drag to assign officers or right-click to speak to them. Assigned officers give ability bonuses. Shops. Here you can buy fuel, supplies, ship equipment, and trade goods. Shops are displayed on the left. Click on one to see its wares. Setting sail. Click the launch button to leave port. Okay, so there's my ship. I don't precisely know what to do. Launching is apparently an option. The cat is going to be a problem tonight again. Once again, the cat wants to be in the middle of what I'm doing here, which is a problem. It's very difficult to play a game when there's a cat sitting in front of the computer monitor. Yes, there it is, Gracie. So I will be spraying you with an air duster if you make any moves in that direction. I have warned you. My engine temperature is 200 degrees. Advice for captains. Wow. That's a lot. I feel like that's more than I want to deal with. A passenger. Someone in the docks wants to board your ship. Agree to carry the August travel rider to Gator's Morn. He's prepared to pay handsomely for transport and is keen to commission your ship specifically. Oh, okay. The august travel rider shakes your hand. His grip is distressingly strong. Thank you, it's Gator's Morn I'm bound for first, he says. I hear they... Ah! He hurries over to your stoker, who is carrying his steamer trunk up the gangplank. No need to trouble yourselves. Give it here. Remember, Captain, Gator's Morn. I'll pay you 150 echoes when we arrive. All right. Whatever you say. Just don't get in the way of my search for my father's bones. My lodging. Oh man, I am very sleepy and tired tonight. As I'm playing this game for the first time, which has a lot of text in it, and a lot of things to process and understand. Not the kind of game I really wanted to play, but it was on my desktop and it was the next thing to click. So here we are. Read the morning papers, visit your study, rest in a room above the blind helmsman. All of these things are locked. Back to the rest of the city. Who's waiting for you in London? Or you could click the London card on the right. Perhaps not. London. She's the greatest city in the Untersee, and don't you forget it. A Blemmigan sits atop a splintered crate, clicking and whistling at captains as they come near. You extend your hand, and the Blemmigan leaps on. Its tendrils entwine with your fingers, and it chitters quietly. It meets your gaze and bobs its dome in greeting. It's very small. Is it old enough for naval service? You're pretty sure its mustache has been drawn on in pen, in an attempt to look older. As you approach your ship's gangplank, the creature flutes and vibrates with apparent happiness. The bosun winces as you bring it aboard. You now have one of this, Blemmigan Gallivanter. Hooray? I literally don't know what I'm doing here. I feel like I'm just clicking on buttons for no reason. Let's launch our ship. Tutorial. We're moving. I don't know if I have any control over this. Mouse appears to be doing little or nothing. Oh, WASD, that's how we control this. We're steaming out of port. Alright, my cat is now trying to attack my mouse cord, so I think she's gonna get a spray bottle here. Alright, that's enough. Thank you, Gracie, that's enough for now. November 30th, 1887, discovered Bad Stevener's Abyss. 50 fragments gained. Oh, there's a ship out here. Is that bad? Discovered Rowena's Rocks. What do we do? What? December 1st. A sailor is praying. Oh, tutorial. Use the WST keys to move. Tap W twice to reach max speed. Whoa. After a short time at Z, a lamp icon will appear above the logbook. It means your opportunities await you at the next port. Combat. You've encountered an opponent. The red arc shows the range of your deck gun. Keep the enemy in range while your crew works out a firing solution. This will happen faster if you keep the enemy in your prow light. The deck gun will be highlighted as your crew make progress toward a firing solution. Press space or close the tutorial to continue. Who am I shooting at? Oh, I see, down there. It's an auroral megalops. Ah! Okay, so I have to wait. I see. The megalops defeated. With a forlorn and wailing cry, the megalops turns on its back, legs neatly folded as bluish blood gouts from its wounds. Its golden glow begins to dim. Dissect it for knowledge, a very modest challenge. A crab full of conundrums. You set to work with your knives and acids. It is an undistinguished adolescent specimen, a megalops, of one of the deep Z crab species, but its eyes, normally vestigial in these troglodytic beasts, are large and rather beautiful. The golden glow is almost gone now, although sparks leap now and then to your knife. Yay, I succeeded in a page's challenge. Okay, I was just up seeing if I could convince the cat to quit bugging me. Alright, well, we did it. We did something. Logbook. Discovered the Murray Straits. Green glass and basalt. Salt and silence. Mutton Island, it says. Advice for captains. Okay. Is that a buoy? Going faster now. A white Z-bat. A sailor has grown fretful and disobedient, reluctant to go on deck, even in port. There's a white Z-bat watching me up there. There's a white Z-bat watching me up there. Salt's messenger. Salt's got its eye on me. I'll never see home again. Let's see. If white Z-bats are sacred to Salt, perhaps you'll win Salt's favor if you believe any of this. The Z-bat takes fungal crackers from your fingers as boldly as a parrot. It dips its head to you and chirrups something you might mistake for speech. It spreads its wings and leaps into the air. The next day your crewman is gone, along with one of the ship's boats. No one saw him depart, or knows why. I now have the gods of Z, Salt's attention. You know something about the three gods of the Z. I've lost a crew. Oh no. You've lost a crew member. Lose too many and your speed will be reduced. Lose them all and you too will die. You can always engage more in London, and sometimes other ports. My crew is down to 7 of 10. Creeping tendrils of fungus, Z-weed, unnameable flora. We enter the snares. Uh-oh, what is that? Do we shoot at that? I feel like we're going to be shooting at that thing, whatever it is. Let's chase it. Chase it down. It's a Jilly Floor. Oh, my firing solution wasn't ready. Oh, he hit me in the... Plot the firing solution! Gunner! Nice work. Well, it's not dead yet. Gunner, plot me a firing solution. Gunner, kill it. Ah, we're taking a beating. It's not dead yet. Ah. How much damage are we taking here? At last, we've killed it. What was it? Gilliflower's End. The gilliflower. Is it a young jellyfish? A lesser subspecies? Do the dreams of jellyfish become real? In any case, now it's a sad slick of goo dissolving into the Z. Perhaps you can eat it. Better yet, perhaps your sailors can. It's gone. You are left with a gooey gloves and a buttery smell. And this purple thing, is it an egg? A heart? A less fortunate traveler, dissolved and shriveled to mauve ruin? Put it somewhere safe. You now have one strange catch. It might be some sort of fish, but best not to look too closely. Whoa, I'm floating sideways, I think. No, I'm not moving at all. Navigator, take us out to sea again. And there's the cat again. Are we just gonna keep doing this routine night after night? You jump up here and I spray you with the bottle. Thank you, Gracie. Uh-oh, a ship. I'm low on supplies. Once you've run out, your crew will begin to starve. You can buy more in certain ports. How do we dock? Can we dock at a port? Can I dock here at Saints Haven? Let's dock. Hey, Pigmote Isle. Pigmote Isle. 2 houses, both alike in dignity. On a lonely desert beach. There is no habitation in sight, no market, only an old rotting dock. A stretch of sand thickens into damp black earth, from which sprout stunted palms? Not quite, tall fungal growths with frond-like caps, as if someone had sculpted the idea of a tree from a mushroom. Let's disembark and see what waits. War? As you step onto the quay, you hear clamor, shouts, and shooting. You can see off in the distance smoke rising from beyond the hill, and dots of fire flecking the horizon. 2 tiny figures stand a little further down the quay, unmoving, as if awaiting your approach. The following is an extract from the popular diary of a Z captain, from London to Ireme, and what we did there before we arrived. Washed ashore on Mutton Island and subsequently serialized in the Unexpurgated Gazette. The author's identity remains unknown. The Tale of Pigmote Isle, in which a delegation is made, a choice is presented, war is declared, and most singular treasure is sought by all, and a new empire is founded with tooth and claw. Chapter 1. The Delegation. The figures were rodents. To my left was a Rattus Faber wearing goggles, a blacksmith's apron, and an assortment of tools. To my right, an unusually large guinea pig, wearing a helmet and breastplate reminiscent of nothing so much as the high Middle Ages. The rat stepped forward first and bowed. "Welcome, Captain, to Ratstar Island. I am Edgar, 2nd Chief Engineer of the 3rd Rat Brigade. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice." The rat stepped back at precisely the same moment. With what appeared to be the ease of long habit, the guinea pig scuttled forward, and made a declamatory chirp. "Welcome, Captain, to the Isle of Caviar. I am Lady Augusta Devereux Swinch of the Blackwater Swinches, seneschal to our King Gracenaw, first of his name. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice." The two stood at attention, looking at me expectantly. How did an armored guinea pig manage to look regal? I knew I had to choose carefully. I will speak to the seneschal. The seneschal cleared her throat with a delicacy to rival the Duchess's own before speaking. "Gracenaw the king, our lord and sovereign, full 7 months had sojourned on the sea, conquered this land and won the southern main. Now no fortress against him shall remain, no city walls be left for him to gain, save the rats that squeak behind the mountain. Unlikely was the lamb of our deliverance, assured shall be our glories and their fall, when our lady's eye restored be to our hall." The seneschal composed herself, then added, "We saw truth and beauty by the light of our lady's eye on Mount Caveat. But the rats, with their guns and their chatter and their peasants' politics, stole it from us. We will subjugate them and take it back. They are a rabble, and we will rule them with the steel-shod velvet of our paws. Will you join us?" I was ready to make my choice. Wait, well, let's see what the chief engineer has to say first. I thought I could only speak with one of them, but apparently I can speak with both of them. I asked the chief engineer to elaborate. He looked at me for a long, measured moment before speaking gruffly. "We came to this island to make a home for ourselves away from London. Its cats and stuffers, its rat-skin suits. We came to live as citizens of our own republic. We came with our tools, our teeth, our clever hands, and we made a beautiful city by the light of the rat star that shone bright and blue on Mount Ararat." The chief engineer nodded toward the distant hill. "One day we braved the depths of the chicken woods, and from the top of Mount Ararat we plucked the rat star to be our light, our beacon. But the pigs of Cavay saw the light, and they lusted for it. They sent armies to rule us and steal our star. We will not permit them to take what is ours. We will resist to our last breath. Will you join us in defeating them?" So they want me to defeat the pigs? Wait, I don't know. I was ready to make my choice. I favored the seneschal. Was it her charm, or a fondness for London's rat-skin coats that swayed me? Perhaps a little of both. At any rate, I was keen to find out more about their civilization. I bowed to the seneschal, who purred with pleasure, while the chief engineer gnashed his teeth, but kept his distance. "You have chosen wisely, Captain," said the seneschal. "Come, and I will explain our situation to you in greater detail." Wow, Chapter 3, A Night Out of Habit. This just goes on and on and on. The seneschal led me to the southern side of the island, skirting the chicken woods. We passed through a number of raised mounds of earth, mixed with fortifying strips of mushroom flesh, which I supposed to be makeshift walls. The settlement was dazzling. This side of the island appeared to be absolutely wreathed in scintillac. The Cavy's dwelling was awash with silver phosphorescence. It was a large colony. Most noticeable was the steam pinnace, the impossible lamb that had run aground, from which Cavies came and went, bearing supplies. To the right of the ship, farther down the beach, a large group of Cavies lay on bundles of colorful cloth, whining and wailing as if in pain. To the left of the ship was a ramshackle tent of poles and linen, in front of which guinea pigs clashed against each other and sharpened their teeth. In the center of the village was a covered dais, veritably festooned with colorful cloth and guarded by well-decorated knights. I suspected this was where King Gracenaw kept counsel. "Be welcome, Captain, in the kingdom of Cavia, capital of our isle, and blessed by the light of Our Lady's eye." The seneschal spoke solemnly, but with a hint of sadness to her words. "Or so it was, and shall be again. I must speak with our king and prepare your arrival. My page will show you the area and bring you in sight of his splendor in good time. Page!" A much smaller guinea pig, its fur braided with slender strip of parabola linen, scurried over and bowed. The seneschal took her leave. Holy jeez, what is going on here? Have I stumbled into a novel? Into a visual novel of some sort? It's not even a visual novel, it's just text. I visited the hospital. Were those guinea pigs quarantined? The Black Death. An elderly-looking cavvy greeted me, eyeing me gravely. "Many of us sickened during the voyage, a rotting in our teeth, a weakness in the flesh. This isle was our salvation. The stronger among us made a pilgrimage towards the pool of Our Lady's light, and then, miracle of miracles, they were cured. They bathed in her, they drank her sweet waters, and the strong brought the weak to her in turn. Soon we were thriving again, bearing Our Lady's children and raising them to love Our Lady's eye and see it in our deliverance." The elder looked sorrowfully at the sick under his care. "Since the rats stole her, the sickness has returned. All this light is but a mockery of hers, and we gain from it no benefit. The only thing," the elder's ears and voice flattened in a hiss, "the only thing that helps our condition is the flesh, the very hearts and livers of the rats who stole her from us." The seneschal led me to the southern side of the island, skirting the chicken woods. Wait, we did that before, did we? Yes, I'm pretty sure we've... Yes, right. Oh, okay, Okay, so I visited the hospital. I visited the steam pinnace on the beach. Was this indeed the impossible lamb? Wasn't it reported overrun by rats? The page chittered while I inspected the vessel. "Rats, never! The splendor of Cavia overtook this vessel. I was born here, the first native of Cavia, but all our elders remember the voyage. It was hard, they say, but we were harder. But the sea is black and unkind. We were lost in the dark for weeks, and no one speaks of those terrible times. But out of the darkness came the light of Our Lady's eye, guiding us here, to our own isle. In time we will ride the waves again, perhaps, once we have recovered our eye. Is it not splendid?" It certainly may have been at one time, but I could see the hull had been severely damaged by this scintillac reef. There was no way the cavies could hope to repair it themselves. Whatever the page said, they were stranded here. And next I visited the barracks. What chance could guinea pigs stand against the weaponed might of the Rattus Faber? The page led me to the barracks, where the knights didn't deign to speak to one so undecorated as I. The page, however, was eager to answer my questions. "The rats have no weapons, none to speak of. What is a gun without a bullet, a sword without a blade? Ours are the supplies, the knives, the soft stuffs, and the glory. Their teeth are sharp, it is true, while ours—" The page hesitated as the knights glowered at him. "Ours are sharper. All praise to the flowers of the house of Cavy." One knight preened while another grunted indifference, working a whetstone along its top front teeth. As I watched, a particularly vigorous swipe knocked a whole incisor out of place. It landed on the ground in a black and bloody mess. The knight grasped the tooth, and vanished from sight. Another glared in a way that dared me to make something of it. I have no idea what is going on. I had seen enough. It was time for my audience with the king. The page led me, crouching at first, and then on my knees, before King Gracenough and the seneschal. The king was the largest guinea pig I had ever seen, easily twice the size of the largest knight in his retinue. The seneschal looked positively dainty next to him. "We are told," intoned the king, "that you have promised your assistance to the house of Cavy. This is agreeable to us, but what form shall your assistance take?" I offered to retrieve the lady's eye by force. I had guns, I had a boat, I planned to row a raiding party to the northern side of the island where the Cavies could flank the rat settlement. A tough challenge. Gives me a 37% chance of success. I actually had nothing to offer but my advice. I would not risk my crew on this potentially doomed venture. A charge! The Cavy supplies would not last them much longer. They had but one choice, an all-out assault on their enemy to retrieve the lady's eye and then strike during the rat's moment of horror. I worked with King Gracenough to plan the attack, and together we waited as the volunteered Cavies went off on the assault. The screams were heard from here to the chicken wood, but then the light went out. We had succeeded, at terrible cost to be sure, but the price of victory must always be paid in blood. Hail Caviar! What? Why? The rats were defeated. Caviar was triumphant. All that remained were the celebrations and the continuation of our voyage. Oh, how we feasted long into the night. And then I invited one of the Cavies to join us. They were reputed to be excellent swimmers, adorable enough to boost morale, and if time should become lean, I thought maybe a guinea pig stew would buy the crew a day or two before they started eating each other. Welcome aboard. The seneschal, of course, couldn't abandon her duties, but she made certain my request was cried out in the village square. The page squeaked excitedly and sought permission from her to join my party. "I will record your doings for the glory of Cavy," he declared, "and I'd like to see more of the world." I waited for him to gather up some effects and say goodbye to his family before lifting anchor and setting off. I now have one guinea page. Chapter 5, A Nation Rises. The wide dark sea beckoned. We'd eaten our fill and our business was concluded. It was time to continue, well, whatever. Screw those rats. It was time to continue our voyage and see what other wonders and terrors still awaited us. The end. There, you finish your diary entry and the final morsels of delicious rat flesh. The Cavies line up to salute you as you leave the victory banquet, escorting you to your ship through the foundations of their new kingdom. That is all for now. You'll find a story when you next make port. A new nation has been founded. The rise of Pigmote Isle. Hail Caviar! Wow, that was weird. It was cool, but super weird. I don't really know what just happened there. What just happened there on Pigmote Isle? Can I scroll a little more? Alright, well, I guess we're... I sort of thought that I would be able to buy supplies, maybe, at this place, but apparently that's not what I can do. I am so tired that I don't think I can continue any further, so I'm just going to stop here after whatever just happened on Pig Mode Isle. Can I just quit to the title screen? Can I do that? If I do that, will it save my place? Let's do a manual save. In unforgiving mode, Sunless Sea autosaves whenever you dock and whenever you die. You may switch to merciful mode and save manually. This will remove your character's Invictus token. Nah. Let's just quit to the title screen. Yes, I'm sure I wish to quit. I am so tired, I cannot do any more. That was my first look at Sunless Sea. It seems like a cool game, but I'm not entirely sure where the game is in the game. It seems more like a story than a game. It seems like it's just telling me, it seems more like a choose your own adventure story than any kind of game. So I'm a little confused about what the game actually is. But it was pretty cool. I mean, I like the aesthetic of it. The lamp buoy is sliding off the side of the screen. That was interesting. Anyway, that's going to be it for Sunless Sea for now. See you later.